Food protection is your responsibility. Each day you serve up delicious tasting foods and do it quickly. But the most important thing you can do is to be sure food is wholesome and safe for your customers. No one wants to make a customer sick. It's bad for business and it's bad for public health. The 5 most important things you can do to prevent customers from getting sick are: maintain proper temperature controls and cooling procedures, practice good personal hygiene, prevent cross-contamination, cook foods to the proper temperatures, and finally get foods from approved sources. If you actively manage each of these risk factors, you greatly reduce the chance that you'll be the cause of someone becoming sick from eating at your restaurant. Let's talk about each one of these risk factors and what you'll need to do to prevent illness. First, maintaining proper temperature controls and cooling procedures. Hold hot foods at 135 degrees Fahrenheit or above and hold cold foods at 41 degrees Fahrenheit or below. Bacteria grows rapidly in the danger zone, which is 41 degrees Fahrenheit through 135 degrees Fahrenheit. So, keep it hot, keep it cold, or don't keep it at all. Cool hot foods as quickly as possible, from 135 degrees Fahrenheit to 70 degrees Fahrenheit in 2 hours or less, and then from 70 to 45 degrees Fahrenheit in 4 hours or less. If food does not reach 70 degrees Fahrenheit within 2 hours, the product must be used immediately, reheated and recooled, or discarded. Cool hot foods using these methods: shallow 2 to 4 inch pans, uncovered or loosely covered on top racks of mechanical refrigeration. Cover when there is 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Use ice baths up to the level of food in the container. Add cold water to ice and stir food regularly until a thermometer reads 45 degrees Fahrenheit in the center. Also, ice paddles will work, or other rapid chill methods. Lastly, thaw frozen foods safely by using cool running water, 70 degrees Fahrenheit or less, covering the entire product. Refrigeration, making sure to move large products from the freezer to the refrigerator 2 to 3 days in advance. Using a microwave, if cooking immediately, or conventional cooking processes. As you cook or cool foods, it is really important to move food temperatures through the danger zone rapidly. Don't give bacteria time to start growing. Leftovers must be heated rapidly to 165 degrees Fahrenheit to prevent the growth of bacteria. Let's move on to practicing good personal hygiene. You also need to make sure you observe proper hand washing procedures. You need to wash your hands for 20 seconds using soap and warm water. Wash hands often after touching your face, head, or any other skin areas, after using the bathroom, after coughing, sneezing, smoking, eating, or drinking, after handling soiled equipment or utensils, during food preparation as often as necessary to remove soil and contamination, when switching between working with raw and ready-to-eat foods, before putting on gloves, and after other activities that contaminate your hands. Also, keep your fingernails trimmed, clean, and don't use fingernail polish or artificial nails when working with food. Limit jewelry to simple bands. Remember, germs love nooks and crannies of intricate jewelry, so don't give bacteria a chance. Also, you need to limit bare hand contact. Don't touch ready-to-eat foods with your bare hands. Ready-to-eat foods are those that won't be cooked anymore, and then they can carry bacteria and viruses directly to your customer. Use gloves, deli papers, toothpicks, tongs, or long-handled spoons to keep your hands off ready-to-eat foods. Personal drinks also need to be in their proper place. Germs hitchhike from your mouth to your hands, so stir your personal drinks on lower shelves away from food to prevent contamination. Also, use straws or covers to prevent contamination. Lastly, your outer clothing. Employees need to wear clean outer clothing to prevent contamination. Remember, don't wear your apron into the bathroom. Bacteria and viruses can get transferred from one area to another easily. Do all you can to prevent cross-contamination from happening. Here's some helpful tips to help stop cross-contamination. Store raw meat, fish, poultry, and eggs on shelves in refrigerators and freezers by final cook temperature. This means chicken that must be cooked to 165 degrees Fahrenheit needs to be stored on the bottom shelves, and foods that are ready to eat are stored on the top shelf. Secondly, wash, rinse, and sanitize any food contact surface or utensils which become contaminated. Prep tables, slicers, cutting boards, knives, etc. shall all be cleaned and sanitized every time they are used for raw meat, fish, poultry, or eggs. If used continuously for the same food, slicers, cutting boards, knives, all shall be cleaned and sanitized at least every 4 hours. Lastly, maintain correct sanitizer concentration. 50 to 100 parts per million of chlorine or 200 to 300 parts per million of quaternary ammonia for wiping cloths and sanitizing of clean surfaces. You also need to make sure you cook foods to the correct temperatures. Besides making foods taste great, cooking kills bacteria that can make food temperatures are a science. So be sure to measure the final cook temperatures at the thickest part of the food to be sure it's cooked throughout. Know the final cook temperatures of the foods and quiz your staff often. 145 degrees Fahrenheit for fish, pork, and whole pieces of beef, 155 degrees Fahrenheit for ground beef and other ground meats except poultry, 165 degrees Fahrenheit for all poultry and all stuffed meats, and lastly 165 degrees Fahrenheit to reheat all foods that have been cooked and cooled previously. The best way to remember final cook temperatures is to keep a chart handy and quiz staff often. Finally, you need to make sure you get foods from approved sources. Buy all your foods from approved sources and suppliers. This means no home canned products or home slaughtered meats. Also, keep an eye on your inventory. Watch for dented cans, moldy or outdated foods, and don't accept foods in poor condition and notify your supplier if you notice problems. Finally, food protection is your responsibility. Each day you serve up delicious tasting foods and do it quickly, but the most important thing you can do is to be sure food is wholesome and safe for your customers. No one wants to make a customer sick. It's bad for business and it's bad for public health.